Hi, my name is Katelynn and this is my friend, Mr. Robertson. Today, we are here to talk about awareness of the struggles of mental health in adolescents and what we need to do to help. In the last 4 years, we both have known a total of 8 people who have committed suicide due to depression and other important mental illnesses, not including the people we have known who have attempted suicide and have self-harmed. 8 people in the last 4 years. We have both struggled with anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts since the beginning of our teen years. I have personally survived a suicide attempt, and even after years of counseling and medication, I still felt alone in the battle of depression and felt as though I had nowhere to go. This is why we have conducted a mental health support group for adolescents called the Warr Project. We have a semicolon in place of the I to represent the struggles and awareness of suicide and other important mental illnesses. The semicolon is used by an author when they think about ending the sentence, but then continue to finish the rest of the sentence. You are represented as the author, and your life is the sentence. The Warr Project is open to adolescents ages 13 through 17. It is also a safe place for all people, including the LGBTQ plus community, people of color, people who struggle with substance abuse, depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation and or attempts. Everything that is talked about in our group stays confidential unless we are worried that you might harm yourself or others.
It is important to learn about some statistics within our state having to do with suicide rates in order to be able to work on preventing it. The Idaho suicide rate hit a record high in 2020. In the last 11 years, there has been over a 50% increase in gun suicide within people ages 10 to 24, and the youth suicide rate in Idaho has increased by 105% also within that time. Idaho has the 5th highest suicide rate in the U.S., and suicide is the second leading cause of death among adolescents. LGBTQ plus adolescents are 4 times even more likely to consider or attempt suicide.
An important person in our lives, John, often tells us that there are 3 things that every person needs: is to be loved, to have a purpose, and to know where you're going. Without any one of these 3 things, none of your quality of life needs will be met. Adolescents especially need these 3 things because our development is the most crucial at this time, and we will not be able to function properly if these needs aren't met. To be able to have these 3 things met, we need more mental health resources for adolescents. About hardly any adolescent programs, and that needs to be changed. These can include more mental health support groups like ours and more advertisements for these groups. We get the least amount of funding when we are the most important. We are the future, most importantly, your future, and what do you want that to look like?
We are all individuals, but we need to come together to solve these problems and to connect to the lives of teens who are struggling. In today's world, the people who are supposed to be leading and protecting us are forgetting us and paying attention to things that matter far less than adolescents' lives. We need to include the introverts, the people who sit alone at the lunch table, the people who feel alone while trying to figure out their sexuality and gender identity, the people whose skin color is not the same as the white kids in class, the people who drown themselves in alcohol so they can forget about their pain, the people who use drugs to cope with their constant anxiety and fears, and the people who feel completely alone in this world. We cannot forget about them and push them to the side because they matter too. We all matter, and we all deserve to get the resources that we desperately need in order to finally be able to feel safe in our own heads.
We as a community need to understand, listen to, and take the responsibility to further our education on the struggles of mental health and what will happen if we continue to ignore it. We need to create our own medicine, but we also need to work together to fight this constant battle of adolescent depression. We now ask for help from the Idaho legislators. What can you do and what will you do before more of us give up? The people that we knew who ended their lives asked for help. We all were their last chances and we were too late. Their voices were not heard then, but we hope you heard ours today.
Woo!